Synchronicity chats. The other day, I was on the streetcar with my student friends, and I always think it's funny when things come out of the blue really unexpected. So I ran into one of my friends from like over 10 years ago. I used to work with him, and I was in really dire straits at one point, that I was selling all my stuff, and it kept me afloat. But then I actually sold my guitar, and I put it up for sale. But then one of my friends, Mike, he said, "Hey, I'll buy that off you. I want to learn guitar anyway," and it kind of saved my life. But then I had no guitar after that. Um, which is to say, it's been the constant in my life. And then I got back on my feet and worked in an office for 2 years to get my dream guitar. It's the one that I play now. And so it's, these crazy life smacks you in the face. Go get some responsibility, fill your cup, and then it's just like guitar is always there, and you can always count on it. I think in my other videos, personal is universal, as I say, I was getting really, honest with where I'm at, and had a lot of talking through a lot of stuff with a friend of mine lately, and seems like we've reached understanding. I actually had this thought, has to do with my classmates too. They were all saying that they have, I don't know if they actually have autism or not. I don't know how that's done. Some people have asked me if that's a thing that I should get tested on. I had another friend who, I don't know, I think he says it's just the way I think is not like it's out of the box. It's multi thoughts at a time, streaming, wrapping itself up in a bun, in a bow. And I can see all of these connections, and I trust they're all gonna make sense. But it's not something that you would be able to orate, let's say, in real time. But I had an interesting day today because I was sitting across a man on the bus, and he, I was guessing, maybe had autism. He was saying hi to people, to everyone. Actually, he was saying hi to all the girls. Which I was like, good on you, man. You're all getting all out there with the gusto. And when I think of myself, I don't really approach people. It's rare, or it's been a while. It's a tough thing, to muster courage. But he started off with just asking people, saying that he liked their shoes. And that was just, I was trying not to laugh out loud on the bus because it was I thought it was just a genuine comment until the third person got on the bus, and it's like, I like his shoes. And then if he responded, he went into his whole life story and his whole romantic past, and it was interesting because I noticed, the layer of trust and openness was there right away once they engaged talking. And subject matter aside, as humorous as it was, and I think he's doing way better than me, going straight up to people and saying he likes them, which was the comical thing. I really admired the fact that he could just be open like pretty quickly, and that's scary for some people. And I am kind of like that. Or people engage with me, say sometimes I feel like I've known you from before, kind of thing, and sometimes I don't know how to bridge that. But overall, it's all good. But then I have a paranoia of too many interactions, and that's the shy version of me being like, too much tension, I need to get away. And I don't know how it's like within the same personality that I'll go play publicly in the street or at a show, and I can talk to anyone on the bus that engages me. Yet I'm not always the one to begin that, but in a musical sense, I am. So it's like a different personality as a musician or something. And I find I listen better when I'm thinking in music, because I tend to get overexcited. Which is a good thing sometimes, because no one's excited anymore, right? And then it's balancing all of that. I heard something today where someone said, when you're intellectual or you have deep thoughts or you write, doesn't that bring a sense of deep aloneness? And there's truth to that. But then if you're sharing even music, which is about stories of aloneness sometimes, but then you have this social media where somebody connects to it, then you don't feel alone. So it's less actually, if you're willing to share. And I thought the other day, if I'm always just sharing good news, which I have a lot of good news. The funny thing is, people relate to news that's, it's like real is parallel to hardship, that kind of thing, which I don't always get, or it seems unbalanced. Or at the same time, it's just where you're at, right? 2 turntables and a microphone. But I can always laugh at things. So I don't know. I just felt like sometimes I want to do this kind of thing when everything is just, snippets of texts and no face. I feel, even if I'm texting and people are trying to get a hold or a feel of where you're at, it's not, it doesn't amount to too much of trying to understand, because it's just a bunch of text. But I wanna thank people who have been texting back, and we're having conversations about like long format and not just snippets of our lives, and letting people know when we're bushed and happy. Even, right? I feel like I'm always wondering if I'm sharing joy, it seems unreal to people, or maybe it's certain personality uh, types. And I don't know, it's funny because even I just went into Kensington and I sat under a tree. I didn't really draw attention to myself, and someone said, "Hey, yeah, it's you," and I was like, "Yeah, um, hi." And then they walked to me with open arms and like moving forward, like as I was sitting down, like I will hug you and I will embrace you now. And then I thought that was kind of funny because it's like I was feeling like I don't know where my comfort zone is sometimes. Sometimes I'm just a little too open. Um, and sometimes I'm just dancing on the line of sensibility too much, and but it's much more open than it has been. So, but yeah, just a very introspective, curious fellow naturally. So, um, I don't know. I'm just like wanting to express right now. So, uh, it's more of a different thing when it's concise as a song. Uh, so I will try to get out on Sunday. Um, I know I shouldn't think about bringing everything and how that's always a hassle that makes me not want to go. Right, every time I don't want to bring all this stuff. The other thing is, it just makes me laugh that my patch cable for my microphone broke. So therefore, I haven't been singing just because my patch connection thing broke. I don't know what's wrong with it, but anywho, this is kind of my lazy podcast. I haven't really been doing a podcast in a while, and I guess it's just the topic, and it's quite a lot to do, so it's quite tiring. So I'm just going back to one strumming and a simple song, and that's just nice to get into, like, when you need to relax, because do a lot of instrumentals with a lot of notes in it, and although that's fun, it's always good to just chill out with the old acoustic and singing, and I haven't really been practicing that very much, so it's a little bit off, but it's fun. Anyway, what was I talking about? As I said, I'm just checking in every end of the week and balancing school, and I don't know, I guess this place is my social space, whatever that means. Um, but I'm craving something that's like deep, and I just feel like I've been walking on eggshells with a lot of people lately. And you know, that's a good thing in some way because it helps the flow. So perhaps, you know, there is merit. I told one of my friends, sometimes there's a lesson in not being yourself. And what if you did hold back just to see a different version of you? because I tend to get overexcited. Um, it's just a good thing sometimes because no one's excited anymore, right? Um, and then it's balancing all of that.